Peace, family. What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Knowing is Knowing podcast. I'm your host, Rashad Young, and as always, I appreciate you all tuning in. If you're watching this is the day after the 4th of July, so happy happy holidays to you all. Hope you all have been enjoying yourself, man. This has definitely been something that, it's been a good time to just spin around with some friends and enjoy people, sharing their plates and spending time with their family and things of that nature, and that's super great, and always super grateful to be able to contact my loved ones. It's my first holiday in a while. I actually haven't been around them, so it feels a little bit weird, but I miss them and I love them dearly. But I think it's just all a part of the process of trying something new, is that you got to do things that are comfortable. But enough of that. Things of that doesn't really matter. We're here to pod, and this is what we're always going to do. We're always going to do the work, no matter if you feel like doing it or not. And today, I'll be honest with you, this is not it. Mentally, I am not in a good space at all, and we're going to push through it. We're going to push through it, and this is how you push through it, is by doing things when you don't feel like it. So this is number 2 of the 5 things series that I have learned in my 20s, and I think this one hits a lot home for me because this is how I currently feel, and hopefully this pod will make sense when you all listen to it and as I play it back, and that's, you have to sit in the unknown. I think, I know I mentioned about taking risk and, going after your dreams, the first episode, but, sitting in the unknown, man, this is new. I'll be honest with you. I did not know what it felt like until I got into this position, and it's really something when you have no idea where things are gonna go. It is by far the scariest thing, and even if you have your own plans, your own ideas, and own concepts of how things are gonna work out, things shift, and it puts you in a different space of doubts and navigating through that doubt and asking yourself, am I doing the right thing, and is this going to work out? All these future-based questions that I'm trying to recognize won't be resolved in one day. I think that's why, when we experience anxiety and or depression, it is such a interesting thing, because we're either harboring on something that's already happened, or we're being fearful about something that hasn't happened yet. And, when you're trying to find yourself, and this isn't just necessarily catered to your 20s, but 20s is a big time for just self-exploration and really understanding who you are as an adult. That's what makes it more significant, is, recognizing that the way that we think life is going to go, it doesn't always go that way. And how do we sit in that unknown is interesting. I'm always inspired hearing people's stories on how they took these massive risks and how they found a way to make it work out. And you sit around and you try to conceptualize, like, how did they do that? Like, what did they do? And you come to find out they had no idea. They just did it, and they just found a way to make it work. And that's kind of goes back to that concept of fear. Fear is something that we either can fuel us to make us better, or we sit and we run away and retract from it. And there's just a truth that in order to get to that next step in your life, you're going to have to look at it straight in the face and attack it. Now, doesn't mean that you're going to succeed the first time. Doesn't mean if you jump, your parachute is going to just pop out right away. But there is a truth that the more that we conquer our fear and we embrace it and we understand that the uncertainty that we sit with can make us better, it can make us sharper, or it can make us the same, if not even worse than we were before. It kind of puts you in that position to want to do more and be better. I think that's what makes it so beautiful, is recognizing that. And that's kind of a thing, as crazy as today has been, and as crazy as I would love to see my family and really get a hug from them, it's recognizing the fact that this is just a part of life, that you have to sit and be uncomfortable when you don't have any answers, and you're trying to scramble to find things, and you're just trying to make sense of it all. This is not it's not something that I was unaware of. When you make these drastic jumps and leaps, it's just the timing of things. I did not recognize that, and that's why I try to tell anybody, that when you try to do something new, the newness wears away fast. And that applies to anything that we kind of experience in life, whether that's a new job, a new relationship, a new experience. It's like the newness goes away. And once that newness goes away, nothing, it gets back to the same or it gets worse, and I think that's what we have to recognize is that newness is just an identifier. Either we're lacking something and we're missing that specific feeling and we're just craving that specific feeling, or it is a fear of knowing that after that newness wears away, we're going to go back to our old selves. And we have a awareness of that. And that's kind of why I've discovered that new things are great until you hit a complicated spot. And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of us at our age, especially our generations, are relatively rebels, because of certain ideals and constructs that have been kind of provided from us from a societal standpoint look totally different. If we don't like it the first time, it makes us feel uncomfortable or awkward or whatever, we steer away from it, we run away. Doesn't mean that the running away aspect is a bad thing, because sometimes it could be for the right thing. It could be the experience was affecting your mental health, or a relationship was toxic or whatever. But it is that's an interesting concept of when that uncomfortability hits us, we go to two states. It's either fight or flight. And I'm recognizing that I'm a fighter, but there's a flight in this too. It's recognizing the beauty of it, man. This is a very scary time, and I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I don't know what next week's going to bring, and this is what separates people to become great. It's embracing it and accepting it for what it is, and knowing that we gotta have faith. We gotta have faith in anything and everything that we do. We have to believe. You have to believe. You have to believe that all things are going to work out in your own way. You can have $5 to your name, and you'll be surprised how that faith with that $5 can turn into a crazy concept. You hear it all the time, the success stories of people who had their backs against the wall and they just kept going. They kept believing. And if you're feeling how I feel today, hopefully that this message will resonate with you. You just have to keep going, no matter how you feel, no matter if you want to cry, no matter if you want to give up. You have to keep going. Please do not stop, because I'm learning that you have to experience pain to receive a breakthrough. And I know people are like, well, that makes no sense, because if I touch a stove and it's hot, why would I want to touch it? I'm sorry, if I see somebody touch a stove and it's hot, why do I want to touch it? And obviously there's certain aspects of what we experience we should recognize what we shouldn't do if we see somebody else do it. But I think there's a beauty of understanding that, as I mentioned, we're going to have our own turn of experiences where we have to just understand that it's our turn. And what do we do with that? Because when we have our experiences and we learn from our breakthroughs and our painful moments, we become a vessel of lessons for somebody else. They give them that hope. They give them that encouragement. And that's all I want to do with this content, man, is really be big on transparency, because I'll be remiss to sit here and lie to you that I did not want to sit behind this chair right now and record anything. I'm not in the best space. I will sit here and admit that on camera. But that's what we need to tell ourselves when we do these things, that no matter how I feel, there's probably somebody else out there who may need to hear this, who may need to understand that I get it. It is tough. You're going through it right now. You're trying to figure out how things are going to work out. You're trying to figure out how you're going to get to the next place. You feel like you're stuck at a wall. You keep trying to hit that wall. You're trying to get through that door. That door is not opening, but I promise you it will open. Or you will find a way to kick it down. You just have to keep believing. I know it's tough. I know. I know. But I believe in you as much as I need to believe in myself. And I think that's the biggest thing I've learned when I start to do these pods again and making content again, is that as much as I'm doing this for you, I'm doing this for myself, man, because you may be watching this and you need some inspiration or something to get you through your day. And sometimes I have to watch these things again to remind myself that I can do it too. Comparisons is a very dangerous game, man, where, we see somebody else and they seem like they're doing great. They look like they're doing great. And we sit back and reflect on our life and we try to think about all the things we've done right and all the things that we've done wrong, and we beat ourselves up, man. We cannot be our own worst critic. We cannot. That's easier said than done, I know. And even as I'm sitting here telling you this, that is something I have struggled with. That is something I still struggle with. Again, embracing this new level of uncertainty and recognizing that, hey, things have happened. You've made mistakes. You've lost things. You've gained things. But more importantly, you're finding yourself in all this because this experience is this oneness of life. We're all going through it in different ways. And we all end up the same. It all ends the same. We don't know what happens after that. And so we have to take what we can and recognize that there's some good in this. If you have an opportunity to wake up today and to do something that you're passionate about or that you care about, please do it, no matter how you feel, because there is a beauty in it, man. I'm telling you. There's people who wish they can do something. There's people who wish they can even just take the time to do it. Some people's lives are so deeply rooted in just trying to survive that their passions aren't even a thing. They can't even think about it. And I feel like I will be doing myself and those people a disservice not to do it when I don't feel about it, when I don't feel good about it. And I think that's the last thing I want to kind of point out. It's like that's what I learned, man. It's not about our feelings. Our feelings matter and they're supposed to be validated, but how we feel should not add on to our actions. Because many days I'm sure that the best people in the world, they don't feel like running a business. They don't feel like working out. They don't feel like taking care of family. And they still do it because their love for it is deeper than their feelings. And some things are bigger than our feelings. In the midst of uncertainty, I can sit here, I can crawl into a ball, I can cry into a ball, I can pray to God 100 times, which I will do all those things. But I still have to do this because this is something I'm passionate about. I still have to make things happen. I still have to go to work that I'm grateful to have a job for that. I still have to take care of myself. I still have people that depend on me in some way and they believe that I add value into their life. And there's people that feel the same way about you. So, don't forget that. Don't lose sight of where you are, where you may be because of the uncertainty that may be going on in your life. Embrace it. Embrace it for what it is. I know it's uncomfortable, and I'm telling you this firsthand because I'm sitting in it and I'm experiencing it for the first time in a while. It is very uncomfortable, but we will get out of this together. You will get out of this. And when you look back, you're going to sit back and laugh and thank God or whoever you believe in. If you believe in anything, you'll be like, man, I did that. Yeah, it was tough, but I did that. Yeah, people didn't believe me, but I still did that. There's points I doubted myself, but I still did that. You put a smile on your face, and you do it all over again. So, I appreciate you all as always. Make sure to subscribe to the pod on your favorite audio platform. Also, check me out on YouTube. I love you all. Hope you all have a productive week. Keep it going, man. Keep believing. Have faith. Until next time, peace.